Hey guys, it's your boy MKS back with another video. I've left this a lot long better than my last video. I fell asleep on the SETI like an old man. Well, I plan to go to sleep, but not for that long. But anyway, I'd also like to get some writing on paper as well done as well if I can, but I'm not sure to get there today. But yeah, so hopefully checked out parts 1 and 2. If not, please check them out. I hope you'll enjoy them. Or if you've already watched them, I hope you did enjoy them. I actually got a like for one of my videos, which is quite good. But yeah, so hopefully I won't be too boring, and can't think of too much else to say in the intro. So I hope everyone's well as ever, and as I say, hope you'll enjoy this video, and hopefully I won't waffle too much or be boring or anything like that. So I'll do my best to entertain you and that sort of thing with my ideas and thoughts. So on to carrying on with my list. As I say, check out parts 1 and 2 if you haven't already done so. I really appreciate it. And if you could give it some likes and shares and that sort of thing, or a like and shares and all that. Here goes. So number 21, again, recapping some of my ideas which I was talking about before. Like, I hope they made sense. Please ask me any questions if you like, or leave any comments as ever. As I say, I was talking about like how I love Native Americans and Indigenous people from the Americas to have their own tourism industry, like the Aborigines in America have their Australia have their own tourism centres where people can go and taste their food and see their dances and culture and things like that, learn a little bit about them, and like get a picture taken with some of them and all that kind of thing. I went there a while back when I went to Australia, so I think it'd be great to see Native Americans have the similar things if they don't already, and it would be great also to see both groups having like their own hotels, and generally also financially benefiting from the from those sorts of things, and also like people learn about their culture and history and that sort of thing, and the negatives and also positives about what happened to negatives of what happened to Native Americans, but also like some of the positive things about their culture and history. And number 22, on that note, like looking at what could happen in the future, to empower them and to make up for some of the historical things, and what sort of new and exciting and innovative things that could be done to empower them, like education and STEM and things like that. And as I often say, I'd love to hear from Native American people, like Indigenous people from the Americas, like what their dreams are, or what their goals are, what their aspirations are, and that sort of thing. What could help them, and like sharing ideas about what could empower them, but also like their financial goals as well. Like, I'd love to hear from Native Americans, like Indigenous people from all over the Americas, like what they think about money or capitalism or other political or socialism or other things, and whether money is important to them or not. I think you need a certain amount of money to live on, honestly, but like to me, as long as I have enough to eat, enough to drink, and like enough to like have a bit of fun and all that, if I like a shelter over my head and enough to eat, enough to drink, and I had football and I could play football with people, that's probably pretty much all I'd need, and a little bit like stuff to write and make YouTube videos and things like that. But yeah, I'd love to hear from like Indigenous people from the Americas and like how they could support their own communities and things like that. And I know a lot of people like say Indigenous people from the Americas are like, especially from America itself, are like very spiritual, so they're not money minded. But I think it'd be interesting to hear from Indigenous people from the Americas who might say that they value money just as much as any other group. But yeah, so what sort of ways are best to support them? Like, is it financial or spiritual or acknowledgement or whatever else? And number 23, I'd love to, as I said before, like to support their politicians and projects, and like the YouTube channels. If there's any Indigenous YouTubers, to like share their channels in the comments below. If they find out about about these videos, hopefully they'll comment below, and I can like give their videos some likes and shares. I already like check out some channels like Natalie Franklin and especially like Patrick is in Navajo, however you pronounce it. I check out quite a lot of his videos, and like I look at Native American memes and things like that. So again, I'd love to support people from other parts of the Americas as well, like I said before, like Argentina, Brazil, like to get their own YouTube channels started up and their own TikToks and things like that, their own projects, and to support all possible projects from indigenous communities like of the Americas, as I said before, like their social media channels, websites, YouTube channels, all that sort of thing. So if you are an indigenous person from any part of the Americas, please do share your projects, as I say, YouTube channels, TikTok channels, or anything like that, or any information about like indigenous YouTubers generally and that sort of thing. I mean, if you type in YouTube or Google something like that, indigenous YouTubers or native YouTubers or Native American YouTubers or whatever, you'll find quite a list. But I think it'd be great also to encourage more indigenous people to become YouTubers and support their own community. Number 24, I'd love to find out more about like Indigenous Peoples Day and things like that, and again, how to bring indigenous people from the Americas together to support each other as much as possible. And as I said before, like people around the world, like friends of the indigenous people, to support them and that sort of thing. Again, please do share my videos and like them and all that. I'd really appreciate that as well. And in the future, if I ever make money from these videos where I talk about indigenous peoples, I plan to donate that money to indigenous communities, whether it's healthcare, education, businesses, or whatever other support they want or need, and that sort of thing. Number 25, yeah, I'd love to support their projects, as I say, as much as possible. The YouTubers, TikTokers, politicians, I'd love to find out more about. I've been finding out a little bit about Native American politicians, and again, I'd love to see more, you know, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, and all those sorts of places, and like international support to international groups supporting them as much as possible politically, and also like indigenous peoples to have their own lobby group and that sort of thing. And number 26, maybe there could be an argument for like how indigenous peoples from the Americas could get reparations. Like I dream for them to pay the lowest amount of taxes possible, and to get support, like mentors and people like that, support them with their education and like training, business and STEM, science, possibly a little bit of tech, engineering, entrepreneurship, trading, communication, languages and things like that, and if necessary, like learning English, and which can open up doors around the world and that sort of thing, and also like maths and that sort of thing. So STEM and other such things which could empower them in the future, things that they could learn. Number 27, I'd love to have a list in the future about the top countries which support their indigenous people in the Americas. Like, let's say Canada gives more support for their indigenous people than America, like then it could be that they could be honored for doing so, like acknowledged by the international community, and maybe that would push the American government to want to do more for their indigenous people. And similar, as I say, to for Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay. Maybe if people see that they're united communities and they reward those who help them and they're thankful and all that, then maybe more people will want to support and indigenous communities. And if, as I say, if they see them as united and supporting each other and supporting those who support them, then hopefully more big businesses and companies will want to support them, and there'll be more businesses on reservations and things like that across the Americas, as I say. And as I said before, I'd love to find out how many countries there are in the Americas and the populations and things like that, and that sort of thing, and facts about those sorts of things. Number 28, hopefully by making videos like this and supporting them, their situation will turn from some of those negative things into positives, and we'll be able to make positives out of them, basically. Number 29, I hope to support, encourage as many people as possible, especially people of colour or minority groups, but just generally whoever would want to support them, and whoever's ethical, as I would see it, enough to support them, in my opinion. I hope to encourage as many of the people as possible, especially my fellow mixed race people, Anglo Indians in particular, and looking at possibly what Anglo Indians and other mixed groups have in common with Native Americans, many of whom are mixed themselves. And also this is a bit of a controversial idea, which I've talked a bit about before as well, but sorry, my tea was getting a bit cold. I'll say, I hope I don't offend anyone, but I think it would be better if people of colour and even non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, non-WASPs in America, as I say, people who are not WASPs or white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, would like to support each other's businesses, and ensure there's more non-WASPs in the not in the military, sorry, in the police or in the law, like more lawyers. So this, lawyers, judges, and people within the law, to ensure that we have more justice for people of colour and minority groups. Since America was built for white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, WASPs, I think that it doesn't make sense for me sorry, this video's gone a bit long, just realised, but it doesn't make much sense for non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestants to join the military, in my opinion. So I don't really personally encourage joining the military. I think it would be better if people of colour, POC for short, as I say, supported each other, like supported each other's projects, fundraised for each other, and even lobbied for our taxes to go towards things like Native Americans, Indigenous people of the Americas, and that sort of thing, support them instead of like the military or invading other people's countries and that sort of thing. And maybe even like Indigenous people from the Americas can network with the people from Asia, like even Iraq or India or places like that, all across Asia as well, and Africa, and what I call the Four, and that sort of thing. And number 30, again, I'd love to hear from your ideas, and sorry if this video is a bit long, and I am out. Peace and love.